The ADX has never been this high except one other time, and that was when the market, that was in 2012 when the market was at much lower levels. 49.05 on the ADX. Let's scroll back to give you some perspective. Interesting. I drew a line right here. So I drew a line right here at 49.05. This is an incredible straight up trend, biggest ever point wise in ADX. To the highs. You don't see it cross that white line until you go back to 2012. But look at the value in 2012. There's a percentage-wise, maybe even a bigger move. I haven't calculated it off this low, but the level was much lower than the 1999-2000 high. We know the dot-com bubble crash in 2000. And we're going to go back to that point and take a look. So going back 20 years, you see the ADX. Not ever at this level except in 2012 when the market was at much lower prices. Let's go back. Let's scroll back to the dot-com bubble era. You see an ADX here very high, but that's at a low point. So it reversed there. It reversed when it was there at 39. There was a big counter trend move when it was this high. And so typically, if the market trends that strongly, it will chop for a while, or you'll get a big counter trend reversal. Not necessarily a top in the market, but maybe more of a pullback. And so look at this move. This is at 1999, October 1999, massive move. Market move from 3,000 all the way up here, and you never saw the ADX hit that level, that 49 level. It came close right here, and when it did, it had a pretty big pullback, 700 points or so, from 4,500 down to 4,170, and then you see more choppiness as it makes highs. And so this is what I'm more accustomed to. Is most traders are more accustomed to more of this choppiness than this. You see this straight up trend from October 1999 to November 1999. This 1 month, very straight line trend, and then very straight line trend continues until January of 2000. So basically from the last 2 months of 1999, strong ADX, strong straight line trend, very hard to do anything but buy and hold this type of market. But then when the market starts to chop, you can trade it up both sides, more two-sided price action. And so anticipate more two-sided price action with the ADX at that level. Now the ADX, this is the beginning of the data. So the ADX right here is much higher, but that's just the start of the data. And so if we went back further, you would see these values go back down. So it always starts like this at the beginning of the chart, and then it comes back to these normal levels once it has enough data. So starting from about right here, then it gives you normal levels. And so normal levels, 49, you see 49 at this point right here. This is the white line that we drew. This is where we are at 49 if we go all the way back. We're going back 20 years, so go all the way back. So in the last 20 years, it was almost at 49 when it hit this point in the dot-com crash, dot-com era in 1999, 2000, and then it was choppy. So not saying that we're not calling a top here necessarily in price, but maybe a top in this straight line trend price action, one-sided straight line trend. And so interesting to look at the ADX. It rarely gets that high. It can get that high occasionally and near that high, and in other markets, if you want to do a study of the ADX, it's a great thing to look at, but it tends to call a turning point in one-sided price action. And so look for more up and down price action, which is what we like as traders, instead of just pretty much a buy and hold pattern, which is harder to trade.